Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is February 4th, 2025, and this specific Barcelona strategy has earned the club 65 million euros in the last few transfer markets. And I'm going to tell you about the strategy and how Barcelona has made those 65 million euros. And speaking of earning money, I will reveal to you how much Barcelona made off the Nico transfer, because it seems that it was not as much as we initially thought. And finally, Barcelona are still interested in our prioritizing an Olympic gold winner to sign in the summer transfer market. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and we'll begin this video with great news because, ladies and gentlemen, Dani Olmo trained with the group today. As you know, Dani Olmo has been out for 3 weeks due to a problem in his calf. He was supposed to come back around the matches against Atalanta or Alaves. He ended up missing both. And yesterday I reported to you that it was expected that Dani Olmo would receive the green light for the match against Valencia on Thursday in Copa del Rey quarterfinals. And well, today the player completed the full training with the group, which seems that the news is true that Dani Olmo will be back for the quarterfinal match on Thursday, which is of course great news because Hansi Flick will need all his players healthy if he want to compete for all trophies. Now, speaking of injuries, one player that did not train with the group today was Gavi. As you know, Gavi suffered a head injury in the match against Alaves, where he crashed head-to-head with the Alaves defender. He had to be subbed out due to the concussion protocol. In fact, a video has been released from the sideline where Gavi was asked what day it was, and he did not know what day it was because he had a concussion. Of course, he did go to the hospital where he was diagnosed with a concussion, but it was fine. He was released. But despite that, Gavi did not train with the group today, and instead the doctors have made or had created a specialized recovery program for him where it mostly consists of gym workouts rather than on the field workouts. And we'll see whether this will hinder Gavi's ability to play in Thursday's match against Valencia. Hopefully not, but of course the most important thing here is the player's health. So if he has to miss that match, then let it be, as long as he fully recovers from that head injury, which is a very serious injury. You could recover from, leg injuries or arm injuries, but a serious head injury can have very long-term repercussions. All right, on to the next bit of news because, ladies and gentlemen, La Liga. Well, first, now that the winter transfer market is officially over, La Liga has placed 16th in the world in spending during this winter transfer market, which is further proof of the horrendous job that Javier Tebas has been doing. Now, this is where La Liga ranks compared to other clubs when it comes to spending in the winter transfer market. In first place, of course, is the Premier League with 475 million euros spent. Second place is Serie A, followed by the Ligue 1, the Serie A from Brazil, the Bundesliga, the Saudi Pro League, the MLS, Torneo Apertura in Argentina, the second division of the English League, Liga MX, which is the Mexican League, Liga Portugal, Super League, which is the Turkish one, Premier League from Russia, the Pro League from Belgium, the second division of the Bundesliga, and there comes La Liga in 16th place with only 26 million euros spent in the winter transfer market. So congratulations, Javier Tebas, for the awful job that you're doing running this league to the ground with your terrible financial fair play rules that are pretty much strangling all clubs, preventing them from making signings. And in fact, many of their players are leaving because many of these clubs cannot register them. It's not only Barcelona that has financial fair play problems. Almost every club in the Liga has financial fair play problems. So not only can clubs not sign, but they're also having to offload players that they cannot retain because they cannot register. So congratulations, Javier Tebas, on a job wonderfully done. Now, speaking of transfer markets, Barcelona's most recent strategy of offloading players who haven't either debuted with the first team or have very few minutes with the first team, and then offloading them with a percentage of of their rights being kept by Barcelona has netted Barcelona 65 million euros in the last few transfer markets. And I'm gonna tell you the list of those players is starting with Nico Gonzalez, who we now know how much money Barcelona actually made. Now, during the final hours of the winter transfer market, Manchester City activated the release clause for Nico Gonzalez, paying 60 million euros to Porto for the signing of the former Barcelona midfielder. It was expected that Barcelona would receive 20 million euros from this transfer because they retained 40% of the rights of the player. But now it's been revealed that that was not the case, that in fact Barcelona have only received 10 million euros from this transfer. And the reason for that is, even though Barcelona did own 40% of the rights of the player, Porto paid Barcelona 3 million euros for 20% of the rights of the player. So after paying the 3 million euros, Barcelona were only left with 20% of the rights of the player. So only 20% of the 60 million euros, which of course comes around 10.3 million euros. It's supposed to be 12, but for some reason it's around 10.3 million euros. So when you add the 10.3 million euros that Barcelona will receive from Manchester City plus the 3 million euros that Barcelona received from Porto for the purchase of those 20%, Barcelona are only getting 13 million euros from the transfer of Nico Williams. And then if you can add the 8.5 million euros transfer fee that Porto paid to Barcelona, that's a total of 21.82 million euros. So definitely a terrible transaction by Barcelona, selling 20% of the rights of the player for 3 million. Just makes no sense. But anyways, Barcelona have netted 21.82 million euros off the transfer of Nico Williams. But that's not because Barcelona have netted money from other players who either did not debut with the first team or played very little with the first team by retaining a percentage in their future clause, including Mika Faye, who Barcelona earned 10 million euros from his transfer to Rennes, and this was a good operation since Barcelona only paid 1.2 million euros for Mika Faye. Of course, Barcelona still own a percentage of the rights of the player, so if Mika Faye makes a move, Barcelona will gain more. Then there is Julian Araujo, who Barcelona made 10 million euros from his move to Bournemouth. Then there is Shadi Riyad, the center back who Barcelona made 9 million euros fixed plus 1 million euros in variables when he made his move from Real Betis to Crystal Palace. Then there is Marc, who Barcelona made 6 million euros from his transfer to Chelsea. And then there's, of course, Unai Hernandez, who Barcelona made 5 million euros during this winter transfer market from his move to the Saudi club Al Ittihad. And finally, Stanis Pedrola, where Barcelona made 3 million euros from his move to Sampdoria, and Barcelona could make another 1.5 million euros from his loan to Bologna, because as you know, the player did make a move to Bologna on loan, but there is an obligation to buy. So in the summer, Bologna are set to sign Stanis Pedrola, and Barcelona are set to make another 1.5 million euros. And this strategy of selling players who did not debut with the first team or debuted for very few minutes and retaining a percentage of their future clause has generated Barcelona 65 million euros, which is not bad. It's not bad to make 65 million euros without having to offload any of your main players in the first squad. All right, speaking of signings, let's end this video with the news that Barcelona are tracking and are very, very interested in the Olympic gold winner, Marc Pubill, who, if you don't know who it is, he's a 21-year-old right back who currently plays for Almeria. He is one of the favorite choices for Deco to reinforce the right back position because, as you know, Barcelona are looking to reinforce the left wing, the left back, and the right back position. And alongside Vanderson, who I talked about in a previous video, Marc Pubill tops the list for Barcelona for reinforcements for that position. Now, Marc Pubill is someone that Barcelona have been interested in for quite some time. In fact, Barcelona had already agreed with the player so he can come to Barcelona on loan during the summer with an option to buy, but unfortunately that didn't happen because of Barcelona's financial fair play, so he ended up staying at Almeria. However, Barcelona have maintained contacts with his agent to make sure he doesn't commit to other clubs, because Barcelona are going to try to sign Marc Pubill during this summer transfer market. Now, his agent, Marc Pubill's agent, does have a really good relationship with Barcelona, so that's definitely a plus for the club. Not to mention, Marc Pubill also played with Eric Garcia and Pau Cubarsí, and together they all won the Olympic gold during the summer. And Fermin Lopez, of course, so I think fitting in is not going to be a problem. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I will be uploading another video after this one, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.